This is a short video showing Mirkurt. She's a 30-metre tugboat that we refurbished earlier this year. Let's have a look in detail at the tug now. Here we are moving on the port side down towards the engine room. And we're going to swing round now and have a look in the engine room. Plenty of space in the engine room. There on the right hand side on the floor there is our cable that we're going to use as the shore power. 95% of the work has now been complete, including all the painting, just a bit of touching up. There's the view of the starboard side. Now we'll have a look down towards the main engine. There's one of our engineers, our main engineer, Jerry. He's working on a couple of pipes on the engine. That's our mate, Berto, who is also carrying out painting. And here comes Jerry. He's just finished a task in the engine room, coming up the ladder from the engine room on the port side. And he'll be followed by his son, Danny, who's currently helping us a few days a week. He's currently doing a aircraft fitters operation for the Malta airport. Now we'll look again down in the engine room. Still a fair bit of mess laying around, but generally speaking the work is just a question of tidying up. There's the main engine again. It's a Rushton 1500 horsepower engine. There on the right is our harbour generator that we installed recently, which is a standalone generator. And there's the main panel. This was a major operation that we completed, changing all the switchgear and electrical components from DC to AC. And we've made it fairly idiot-proof with all press-button AC controls. There on the right-hand side is the engine emergency alarm controls. This is a view over to the starboard side of the engine room, toolbox and valve chests. And there on the left-hand side there are the two main ship's generators that we changed from DC to AC. They're both 6-cylinder Cummins 150 horsepower engines. View down on the port side to the emergency oil pump, and swinging back round to look forward to where the valve chest again. That's the fresh water supply. And now we're going to have a look up at the bridge. Standard tug bridge, bit of work in progress there. We took the ceiling panels down so we could rewire a lot of the systems. As you can see, we've got basic equipment in here, radar, GPS. That's my chart table. A bank of switches which we reused, and I connected for all the different services, AC and DC. Now looking out on the starboard side, that's another tugboat alongside us, and we're going out on the top deck now. Plenty of space, all neatly painted. Fridge freezer on the left hand side, which we use regularly when we're out at sea. Over on the left we saw there was our auxiliary generator that feeds us the power while we're doing the refurbishment. Now we're walking forward on the port side, entrance into the bridge, and have a look over the top down to the fore deck. A couple of tugs ahead of us, also being refurbished. Swinging round now, looking back down towards the rear of the ship. She's 30 metres and a good sturdy vessel. Aft draft of about 4.2 metres, very stable in the sea. Originally built in Holland in 1965. Back on the top deck there, looking at some of the fan controls. Now back on the rear deck, on the port side, looking towards the rear of the ship. As you can see, there's plenty of space on board for our towing and operations. That's the Vitarine, another one of our tugs. We're swinging round now to show the extent of the space on the rear deck. At the moment we've got a bit of equipment stowed there ready to be taken away. That's the hatch down to the storage and rope storage area. And there's the 2 bollard pulls where we have 22-ton bollard pull. Down on the right hand side now, there's Berto, our mate, going to do a bit more touching up of his paintwork. We used the ship's crew to refurbish the tug under my control as the project manager and captain. I also used a specialist engineer, electrical engineer Fred, and of course good old Shannon, the specialist engineer, to make up all the equipment. Now we're looking inside to the mess area. There's the crew again, Jerry and Berto. This is a large mess. That's my area over on the right, plenty of papers everywhere. Now we're going to look in to the washroom, where we have plenty of space for a nice shower. There's a toilet on the right there. This is the fridge freezer we put in where the drying area used to be, and now the view of the galley. Fridge freezer and cooker is missing at the moment as we're going to put a new equipment in, but we have a fair sized galley looking out the starboard side, and again in on the starboard side of the mess. Now we're down below in the accommodation area, and here is one of the cabins which we generally use for the divers area. Nice bit of space there, 2 bunks. Now we're coming out of the cabin, swinging round onto the left to show the main cabin where most of the engineers and the crew sleep. They have their own table and equipment there, good rest area. We refurbished everything, including new bedding. Now we're looking back out into the accommodation lobby, swinging round into the mate's cabin. This is Berto's cabin. New cushions and covers. Down to, that's the bosun's locker down the bottom there where we keep all our spares and equipment. Now into what we converted into our storeroom. This used to be another cabin, but this is where we keep all our dry goods and tin goods for our food and equipment that we need while we're away at sea for up to 3 months. Come out of there, swing straight across into the captain's cabin, my cabin. Again, plenty of space, nicely decorated. We've got the first aid equipment in there, of course. New carpets and flooring. Again, there's the bosun's locker. And that's the general video of Mirkurt.